Good afternoon. Today is Sunday, September the 6th, 2020. This is the Service Hero Show. 365 days of awesome. Celebrate success through service. My name is Tamara Hunter, and this is the show where we tell the inspiring stories of those that are inspiring others. So let's do this. Today is a very special show, and let me just get my comments up here. I also want to see if anybody is here for a sound check, because I think we may be having a problem. And so good afternoon, Spencer Rose. I see that you're here. Let me know if the sound is good. This is a very special show. I have Gary Miller. He's a friend. He is someone that actually, I looked it up. It was 2 years ago. 2 years ago that he and Jamie Guiley, who was helping him at the time, they came to Los Angeles. And I awarded Rock Against Trafficking the very first Service Hero trophy. The very first Service Hero recognition on that type of a level. However, Gary never got his actual show. So that is why today I am so very honored to be introducing all of you, those that watch and are fans of the Service Heroes and the Service Hero shows, that we are going to be meeting today Gary Miller, who is the actual founder of Rock Against Trafficking. He is also a producer, a songwriter, a guitar player, and a very amazing man. He is also working with other groups and helping them too. So Service Hero, yes, definitely welcome. Welcome, Gary. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And thank you for having me.
I am so pleased to have you. Now, I see all sorts of neat stuff in the background. You right now are in your studio as we are live, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I've just managed to prop it up nice and comfortable on the mixing desk. Yeah. And what you can see behind me is the guitars and everything. I have all the guitars and a big mixing desk in front of me.
And okay, let's see. So, and Spencer is saying, "What's up, Gary?" Spencer Rose out of Chicago. He is saying, "What's up, Gary?" And okay, so he says that I believe that everything is good with the sound. So good, awesome. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What?
I can hear you very clearly.
Oh, good. Okay, so let's get into this, because when you decided to start a foundation, I remember meeting you a while ago, a City Summit event, and from there getting to know you and watching you and everything that you're doing. And I remember something that you said, and then I saw it again in a clip, and I actually had the clip to share in a little bit. And that is that before it became mainstream, that there is a trafficking problem. I didn't even know. I mean, I really didn't understand trafficking, or I thought, oh, it happens somewhere else. However, you saw this a while ago and saw that we needed awareness and we needed to open our eyes. Let's talk about that for a moment.
Well, for me, I knew nothing. I've just played the songwriter record in my life. So for me, I didn't even know what a 501c3 was. And basically, it was a guy called David Jung who came to me with this and showed me what was really going on, So basically, it just started. It was just supposed to be a 3-month project for me. I thought I'd like to do something with the music that I've done all my life, and it just came up. I thought, well, let's be it, and I'll do it through a production company, my own production company. I'll just record the record, and then we'll put it out and see what happens. But that 3 months has turned into 9 years.
9 years. Okay.
Actually, today is the anniversary of me coming into America. Today I've been here 16 years.
16?
That's 16. I can't believe it. Yeah, today it's on the 6th of September. So,
wow. Well, happy anniversary.
Very much, yeah. But yeah, so it started off as a very simple thing, really. And I just felt that, I'd been in production companies that had lots of hit records, and that's fantastic. But after a while, just doing a record and worrying whether it gets into the charts, it became a bit thankless, really. So I just thought, well, it'd be great to use music. And obviously, we've had We Are the World and we had the Live Aid situation. But I didn't want to do like just one song. I wanted to do I wanted to make it a long-term effort where Rock Against Trafficking could do a lot of different things. So the first album is just basically like the pilot, really, and that's what I've been doing, with it. But just building it up. In fact, it was Slash that said to me when I first because Slash was the first one on the record, and he said, told him about it all, and he just said, well, this is all well and good, Gary, but it's just a bunch of rock stars doing an album. You got the cause is what it's all about, which I agree. So, and I was very green with non-profits. I mean, I had no idea whatsoever. So it's taken me this long to find out all the downfalls that you can fall into.
There's one or two, right?
There's a lot of downfalls with charities, especially if you're not experienced in it.
Right. I'm going to play a clip. It's a short clip that kind of talks about, in your voice, it's you, and it talks about that very thing, and then we'll continue. So,
hello everyone, my name is Gary Miller. I'm a songwriter, record producer from England, as you can tell by the accent. I've produced artists such as David Bowie, Simply Red, Lionel Richie. I came across a pamphlet somebody showed me regarding child sex trafficking. So I decided to do a project and thought I'd use all my contacts to raise money and awareness for this terrible, terrible problem, which is child trafficking. So basically, I formed a foundation called Rock Against Trafficking, which is to fight against child trafficking, which is going on around the world, in America, which is really, really bad at the moment, and it's growing day by day. So anyway, I thought, well, I've been producing records, and I thought, well, if I'm going to carry on producing records, I'd like to produce records for a cause. So I thought it would be a good way of bringing everybody together. So far, it's been really, really good at the moment. I've got on the album Glenn Hughes, Carlos Santana, Keb Mo, Beth Hart, Andy Fraser, who sadly passed away during all this, Julian Lennon, Slash. So anyway, we'd really, really appreciate your support, and so would these children. It's happening as I'm speaking now. Some child is being abused or being used as slavery. So I want to thank you in advance for all your support, and thank you so much. This is Gary Miller signing off, and thank you again. Bye-bye.
And I didn't have any hair then, did I?
So how did that mysteriously grow? It's not like a cheetah pet or anything, right? How did you do that?
Gave it off, then I thought I'll just grow it a little bit now. In fact, with this COVID thing, actually, I've just had it cut. It was actually for the first time in years it had got long, and I thought, no, I've got too many little bald patches here at the top to protrude through, so I cut it all off again.
Well, you're looking mighty fine, I'll say. Very nice, very handsome. You're welcome. So you get this pamphlet, and it's teaching you, it's sharing, and it obviously hit your heart. I know when I started really realizing what is happening, and now you hear about it a lot. Now it's much more prevalent. It's mainstream news, if you will. It, there's a lot of different groups that are out there one way or another, and I actually believe that some of that absolutely has to do with the fact that you have been out there a lot. You go to the YouTube and you look under, Rock Against Trafficking, Gary Miller. You have been out at, on stages. You've been out there throughout the United States. Have you
Well,
at
well,
globally? Okay.
good, but when say around the United States, I did the record with the group Journey, and they did a full American arena tour, and all and every gig they had Rock Against Trafficking in a video and playing the song before for a full American tour. So it was people saw it in all the arenas, which I was very happy about,
And can I just say how much I love Journey? I mean, I have to say I'm a huge fan of all of the artists that you have been working with, and you have some more exciting news and a whole different. Uh, you're expanding the type of music that you're actually producing for the Rock Against Trafficking. Let's talk a little bit about that. And because when you started mentioning that, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this is huge, and it needs to be huge.
Well, I think everything's all about timing. I mean, I struggled to in the beginning to even people to acknowledge that it, like you said, that it happening in America. And I used to be saying to people, even the police, it's crazy. This is running rampant here. And everybody used to say to me, yeah, but at least it doesn't happen in America. And I was thinking, it's crazy that people were just not aware that it was so big. So I just kept going, really. And obviously because it was a long process making the album. So while I'm making the album, I was able to talk about what I was doing, and obviously it took quite a while to get the album together. So there was quite a period of time where I had the time to talk to people before anything came out. But yeah, there's a lot of different things about right from the beginning. Once it started, the idea for doing and what I wanted to do on the records that I'm doing was have a theme, going through it all. That's why I chose, and basically with this thing. So obviously a lot of the musicians and the celebrities, they're very, very busy. So if you ask them to do anything, you want to make it as simple, as quick, and as painless as possible, really. So. And that's the approach I went about it. But I always had ideas for, and then when I get going with this one, then I thought, well, it would be good to do Hollywood Against Trafficking, which would be all the famous actors that can sing, which there's a lot of. You've got Gene Hackman, you've got Nicole Kidman, you've got the Bacon Brothers, you've got David Duchovny, you've got you've got Robert Downey Jr., who actually sang Sting songs. Anyway, so there's a lot of the Gerard Butler, and I've already spoken to Gerard, and he was really up for doing some things. So there's, just 1 second.
Okay, no worries.
It just came on then. I got sorry.
No worries at all. In fact, I'm going to bring something up myself right here, because what I've got is, let's see here. Let's see. Okay, so here are some of the artists that you have. These are some of the rock and roll or pop and roll, or what do you call it? Rock and roll type artists here.
Yeah, all classic rock, obviously. Like you got Slash from Guns N' Roses and Heart, and Beth Hart is a wonderful artist, and Glenn Hughes has got one of the best. I mean, Roxanne, that Glenn did Roxanne. I actually got that to number 7. I mean, 2 of the records have been out. I mean, Glenn's version of Roxanne got to number 7 in the classic rock charts.
Mm-hmm.
Number 20, so yeah, exactly. So it was the only one that were released. But like I said, something I wanted to bring the full album in one go. But you've got to do it justice. And so I'm not a record company, so you have to have the funds to promote this, which is what we're in the throes of now, and getting some investment, some donations to actually put the records out, because they're done. But now with the new things developing, like Hollywood Against Trafficking, and also the Spanish one as well.
Yes. Okay, so let me just do this. Let me stop that. And so the Spanish one. So you're the Hollywood Against Trafficking. That sounds like that is possible. You're starting that conversation and everything. It sounds like to me right now. However,
I haven't done anything with that one.
Okay.
I've got quite a few different ideas involving entertainment and music where it can help all sorts of charities, because I feel like the people just don't get help where they're supposed to. There's a lot of things about it, but they just don't. There's no funding. The people might turn around and say we're funding this, but there's no fund. I think it's funded 1%. I think of everything. It's the second biggest illegal trade on the planet.
Right. We have so many people here with us, and I just want to recognize everyone as you are making comments, and so many are saying legendary. They look at the list of everyone there, and yes, it's huge. And wow, Spanish is coming big. Yes. So the
Spanish market last year was like, and remember, it's not that I've just picked up on the Spanish. I've worked with a lot of Spanish artists. When I lived in London, I used to travel. I lived in Miami for 5 years, and the production company that I used to be with wrote and produced the Enrique Iglesias stuff.
Oh wow!
And all that sort. So I worked quite extensively in the Spanish market even before this. So when this opportunity came up, I thought, well, because even when we were in England, we used to always say to people when we was writing songs, "Can you sing in Spanish? You've got to have it." And so we always did that. 20 years ago, we had the Spanglish thing going. So I thought, and so how the Spanish came about. Obviously, Carlos Santana is already on the album, and he's Spanish, and he's Latin. And then I did. There's a Spanish artist called Beto Cuevas that sang one of the songs, and that sort of like started the ball rolling for the Spanish. And then his manager Estella, and she's connected with lots of all the biggest people in the Spanish market now are behind Rock and on the business side want to come behind Rock Against Trafficking, which we've already spoke to people, and the response is fantastic. I mean, it really is. And I've been lying low for it. Obviously, we've had the COVID thing, but I didn't want to keep doing lots of things until there's been quite a few false starts with the release. So I was basically holding back until we had all the ducks in a row for everything that we wanted to release. And we're getting very close now. But the Spanish one, and the Spanish fans are such loyal fans, and I just thought it was, a really good idea to do. So that's ongoing. And like I said to you earlier on, you always get the Latin market and you get the Anglo market, and it's always very separate. I mean, I think for a cause like this, to have the Anglo and the Spanish market, or the Latin market, I should say,
right.
Come together will be phenomenal. I think, because all the biggest stars now from the Spanish world are showing a lot of interest. There's a group, is it I can never pronounce it. Mana or Manu or Mana, that's it. And they sell out at the Staples Center, And there was Estella, who was dealing with all this stuff. She said, you know, they're really, really interested in doing it. I've just got a new one on that I'm talking to. Michael McDonald. I don't know whether you're familiar with Michael McDonald from the Doobie Brothers.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely one of the best singers on the planet.
Oh yeah. Big fan.
As well.
Yeah, big fan.
So the great thing about this is because the Spanish market is so big, well, the big Spanish stars want to collaborate with the American and English artists, you know, and there's still a lot of records, and you've got the reggaeton stuff that's going on now. There's Despacito that was written. You've got all that really, really popular music, and so it's I was halfway there really, but I'm really excited about it because they're very loyal, you know, loyal music fans, and it's a market, you know. It's the Anglo and the Latin market is the biggest there are, you know. But I want to do a world album as well, where you go, you know, there's lots of things that I have this world, not if it works. I'll just keep going until it does, you know. And I think the timing is right for this. I mean, I've been very frustrated sometimes, thinking, why won't people jump on board? I mean, for years, why won't people jump? Can't they see what's happening to these kids? But now we've had all the Epstein thing come out, and I was telling people about things like that 9 years ago, you know, and nobody really took it on board or took it seriously at all. So it used to be quite frustrating, you know. But now people are telling me, do you know about this? I say, yeah, actually, I do know about that, you know. So it's really, really, I'm really excited that we've had a part in create, because I don't know exactly what, you know, we've created to you know, to create awareness, but we must have done quite a lot now. The main so, but I won't put this record out until it's got the proper push behind it. People have said, why don't you just? We've already got a deal with Sony Orchard to put it out if we want, but it's got to be done properly. I spent a long time on it. It's a really important cause, and when it comes out, you know, the promotion, a lot of money's got to be spent on the promotion. Make sure it gets really out there and people notice.
Absolutely.
Doing. So I'm really excited. So the thing is, the great thing about the Spanish one, it's not as if I've just done the English album and that goes out, and then the Spanish we can do separate things, separate Anglo one, separate English, Spanish one, and then we can do duets with the same songs. So you can really milk these artists, and obviously the Spanish artists, a lot of people want to work with them, and vice versa. So I think I'm really excited about it because we're basically combining, in the end, the Spanish version with the Anglo version, and separate as well. And also, you've got to remember this is classic rock. Well, pop, really, what I've been involved with all my career. So then we've got to think about the EDM mixes, the house mixes, like that. So I want to get as much out of every song and every possible thing we can for this cause, you know. That's all that. So it's a lot of, very hard, but the thing is, I know the We Are the World things, a lot of people have done that, but there's only twice it's ever really worked for me, and that was one with, like I said, with Live Aid and the Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie song. And everybody likes to want to do this We Are the World song, but I just wanted something different, and I wanted something, and also with my charity as well. I didn't want to be going out, and then we haven't done really any fundraisers. I want to build an entertainment group, which is self-sustaining, which just pays rather than going out and having to rely on donations. I want to create a business. You've got merchandise, you've got selling CDs, even though in some, you know, in a lot of countries you can still buy CDs. You know, for this album, I got a thing through. I want to do this in vinyl, so there's limited edition of the band. Well, so there's lots of ideas surrounding this, and like I said to you earlier, it's not just about trafficking. I believe that music is the most powerful thing. And the thing is, very cheap entertainment. In fact, a lot of the time now it's free entertainment. And the COVID stuff going on and people not being able to get out, music is always becomes the highlight of, because movies and music is the only thing you can really do, really.
Absolutely.
So this COVID pretty good thing in some way.
Sorry to step on your words. I was just going to say there is a true healing to music. It really is a vibrational healing power.
Well, it's a scientific fact that music is the fastest way to people's emotion. You can a piece of music can change your mood like instantaneously. So there are lots of things, but so when I've gathered that with what's happening with Rock Against Trafficking, then we can have Rock Against mental illness, which I've just done something for, and Rock Against homelessness. I just don't see. There's all this talk about everybody getting help, but I just don't see it. And I think the plan is to build an organisation that can fund a lot of other different things.
Yes, well, I was sharing with you before we went live that with our nonprofit, with the foundation that I have that supports those people that are affected by cancer, we actually are seeing some results. But we're in the trenches, and we were talking about that. You're in the trenches, you're out there serving, and it's a very different thing when you're in the front line than when you think you're going to go into the front line. It's a whole different story. That 3 months, 9 years, I get it, right?
Stuff that I've had to go through, Tamara, you won't even believe. But it's all. I think I had to go through a lot of things for a reason, because you have to learn to become sort of like quite thick-skinned as well, which I never have been. So it's things like you get all sorts of different things that are very strange people sometimes.
Well,
say the least.
You're one of the good guys, though, Gary. You're going to get through it. And Brooke is saying, can't wait to hear the album. When will it be released? Would be a great holiday gift to support a great cause. I love that, Brooke. Thank you.
Well, that's what's happening now with we're in what I'm doing, because obviously a lot of the time I've been on my own, and I've had Jamie, who he really helped out a lot. Oh, yeah. But everybody moves on. But the thing is, there's a lot of good things that people that we've been talking to on the spec thing that they want to do. They're all top of the game as well. There's one organisation that want to help, and they're the actual biggest and the most organised. Because the thing is, I mean, I'm not the best organiser on the planet. People that know me will tell you that. I'm all the time, and that's what I love doing. So I needed that team around me, because it's a lot of work for me to do in the studio, you see, which I loved. And the thing is, it's no task for me, because, I mean, I'm just making records like I always have done. So, I'm no hero, if you like. I'm still doing what I enjoy. I'm just putting what I do into a different area, because before you'd be worrying about, is it going to be number one? Is it going to be this? Now, I couldn't even tell you what number one record is anymore. I don't know what the charts are, nothing. So now we've got the social media, we can do a lot of things ourselves, but it's got to be done.
Which is exactly what we're doing right now. We're getting your message out there. We're using the World Wide Web. We're using web TV. We're using the social media platforms. And we are sharing that there is an organization, a foundation called Rock Against Trafficking, and Gary Miller, that 9 years ago was going to spend 3 months and create an album that was going to help to bring awareness to something that needs to have eyeballs on, that needs to then have more, because it's expensive for you to produce this. However, also it's expensive to do the work that they're doing to save these people and then to help them afterwards. In fact, I have another clip that shares you talking about that. And also, what it does is it also shares a little bit. Okay, where did it go? Oh, here it is. Okay, where did it go? I had it. Maybe I don't have it now. All right, I'll just cancel that. What you talked about in this particular clip was the expense, and I know that there are people that I work with that are very involved in this and actually go out on rescue missions now, which are very dangerous. I mean, they're dangerous, they're costly, and to go and save these people. Yet you talked in the one clip, you compared the numbers of the slave trade back in the day, and how those numbers are nothing like what we're experiencing now. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
There's more slavery in the world now than there ever has been. It's a fact. It's not like, I mean, some people don't believe it, but it is a fact. It's not political, and I don't want to be political with it all. Right. And the thing is, what's happened with me in this organization, it's actually gone a bit back. It's gone back to front, because my idea was to just do an album, get the album out, that'll create awareness. But because of it took such a long time to do, I had to carry on promoting awareness. So I think we created a lot of awareness, and now we can sort of like start. Now when we put the album out, I think people will go, "Oh yeah, we get that." I think back in the day when I started, I think it would have got lost, because still people would maybe never have believed that it went on. So the album could have come out if they'd done a little bit of thing over, they'd done something over here, but I think it would have got lost. Now, because it's so relevant, and I'm still doing just as much work with it as I always was, but I've just been a lot quieter about it, because when we come out this time, we're going to want to come out with a proper promotion so that it gets all over the place, so that everybody knows what's going on.
Okay, I found the clip.
Have you found it?
Yes. Why don't we play this, and then we will be able to address it, because there's actually some singing in this too. So some of the artists are featured here. So I'm going to go ahead and let's get this going. Okay, there we go.
Modern day slavery consists of forced labor and sexual exploitation. Currently, there are 40 million people living in conditions of slavery. To put this into context, during the transatlantic slave trade in America, has lasted for 341 years. It's estimated that 12.5 million Africans were enslaved and brought to America. But right now, there are more people enslaved than ever before in history, and 75% of them are women and children. I'm Gary Miller. I'm just a songwriter, record producer. I founded Rock Against Trafficking to shine a light on this terrible issue. 6 years ago, when I founded this organization, I was amazed to find out that no one had even heard about this problem. So I set out to create awareness and secure funding in support of the men and women that are on the front lines rescuing the victims of this horrendous crime. I thought, what better way to do that than to create an album? So I rang up some friends and we did just that.
Roxanne, I hope that someone gets my message in the bottle. I'll be wrapped around your finger.
sales of this album will be going directly to the rescue efforts and the rehabilitation services for victims of human trafficking. The fight against human trafficking is grossly underfunded. The average cost to rescue one victim is $1,500. With 40 million people enslaved, we need all the help we can get. This album is just the beginning. With proper funding, through the power of music, we can create a global movement to put an end to human trafficking forever.
To me, I'm a pull away with every step you take.
Wow.
I can't remember doing that. Can you believe it?
Well, yeah, I can, because you are a very creative soul. You're out there, you're doing so much, and I think this is one of the ones that Jamie Guiley actually possibly helped you with, because
I think it is actually, if I remember it right.
Yeah, because I think I found it on, I did a little work doing, because I believe in what you're doing, Gary, and I believe in you, and you are so generous of your spirit, and you are so, I mean, if anybody that meets you personally, you always are right there, like they are the one that's important. And so when you were talking about this, I'll never forget the very first time I ever saw you. It was at an event. It was a City Summit event, and Ryan had you off to the side, and he had everybody else sitting up on the stage already, and he made a very big deal about the next person coming up onto the stage. And I'm thinking, who is it? Because I mean, Randy Jackson was there that day, or that, around that time, and there was a lot of different names, and the creator of Ugg boots and all these different people. And he's like, yes, we've got this amazing person. So he brought you from the side, and here you come up, and you're wearing the English rock and roll stuff, and you're tall, and you got the look, and I'm like, oh, wow, who is he? As I remember thinking this. I'm sorry, what?
I'm starting to blush a little bit now.
Oh, well, that's okay. Groupie thing, it's like, okay,
No,
yeah.
I mean, Ryan was a really big supporter. You put Rock Against Trafficking out there, and it's very sad. What happened is very, very sad. But Ryan, I met Ryan at one of these smaller events, and we hit it off, and he was a big supporter of Rock Against Trafficking, which is very sad. That he had to.
Yes, and yes, yeah, he was very, very, very supportive of my organization, and gave opportunities for me to be able to share the message, and there were quite a few of us that were able to benefit from his belief that philanthropic natures, and that there are businesses out there that need to support and be a part of nonprofits, and that nonprofits are actually businesses that can be ran effectively to go out with their message and purpose and mission. And so that's when I first saw you. And then I remember thinking, oh, there he is. And it was at lunch, I think. And I think we both got out there kind of later, and you were like talking to me like, okay, where's this and that? And you were just so amazingly kind and nice. And from that moment, it was like, okay, I like him. He's not only cool, he's nice. And then to really get to know what it is that you are doing, and how you're doing it, and the model that you're taking it out there with, it is pretty incredible. And I really that's why I want to be featuring you right now as the service hero that you are, and you continue to be. You there in your location, Malibu, I was really lucky because then I got to know Jamie and you know, you and Jamie and really being able to feature the two of you. And I'll never forget when one of the fires were near you, and I was checking in to make sure that everything was okay. And you know, you have your studio right there in the heart of the Malibu area. How many times have you had to evacuate?
Well, actually, sometimes I was supposed to evacuate, but I didn't. But this last time I had to, but I never thought, because I've been through quite a few of the fires now since I've been here. But I just thought, no, it's not going to come down. And I actually fell asleep because I've been working late, and it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I went out to look, and I saw the flames, and I thought, look, so we just had to run now on my. I don't think he ever came to that house in Malibu. I know he came to the next one that I had where we did that interview, but they had two houses on the property, and one was the house and one was the studio, and the flames actually came about that close to the studio, and it never damaged it at all. It was a miracle. But the house, the other house on the property 6 feet away, was completely just turned to rubble. But the studio never got touched at all. God must have been looking down and thinking, I'm going to give you a bit of a break here.
Right. Well, I know that I was checking with Jamie during that time on one of them, and he did a really great video and pictures and everything to show, you know, how close it came. And
oh, that's right, he did. I remember him taking some when we were leaving. He took it. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, and I really do believe that there are, when you have a giving heart and you're doing so much for others, which you do, that yes, you are, if at all possible, I do believe that many times there are miracles that take place. And so you actually do produce artists there in that studio, and you're currently doing that a bunch, right? You other than the foundation and then doing the service work, you're actually very actively right now producing artists, right?
Doing there's one artist that's put very well on, which is a guy called Ricky Rebel, that I've just done we just got a release with him. There's Steve Rogers, who is just done a record, who is absolutely phenomenal as well. And movie stuff. There's a friend of mine called Blaze Powers. She's just done a movie, Zombie Apocalypse, which I've just co-written a song for, and I'm going to do the music for that. So there's that. I've been doing some stuff for Billy McNamara for an Amazon Prime TV show, and working with people from Canada, people from the Middle East. Because, and to be honest with you, since the 15th of March, because we're doing it via the internet, they've just been sending me files, and I've just been sat in the studio and doing that. But I had to start building my own career back up again, regardless, with Rock Against Trafficking, because that Rock Against Trafficking was supposed to be a side thing, and it ended up taking over everything. So I had to get back into, producing pop songs again, which I've been doing now for the last year and a bit, which is going very, very well.
Good.
I'm really pleased. And basically, as soon as we know what's happening because we're in the middle of negotiating some good deals. Well, the good deals at the moment, which I think are going to help Rock Against Trafficking immensely. So once that's cleared and I know exactly what we're going, then we can really put the full effort into Rock Against Trafficking is going to go 100% again with some really, really high, high-powered people, which is what I'm needed. So,
well, there cannot be a better time than now for this message to be going out there, because there, again, I know a lot of people that are involved one way or another in this particular area of the trafficking now. At one time I didn't know about it. Now I know a lot of people, and because of COVID and because of some of the situations with the lockdown and with everything, we have even more stress right now. And you've been working with the mental illness also, and with bullying and with trafficking and all of these subjects that are tough subjects, and you're helping to bring awareness to them. And number one, thank you for that. And then number two, it is time. It's time now. It's time today. It's time to make this happen because we need it more than ever, right?
We do. I think, especially now. But yeah, like I said before, it used to be very frustrating. Why is nothing happening? Why is it so difficult? But everything's all about timing. So, and I used to get quite stressed about it. I need to get this record out, but now I just relax with it and think, well, I'm just keeping going anyway, and I'll just keep plowing through it and plowing through it. Although it's not something that I would ever stop. It's not some Andy Fraser always used to say, the friend, who the albums in memory of. He's a very good friend who sadly passed away. He actually said, once you learn about all this stuff, you can't unlearn it. So you can't just do. I mean, my idea was I'll just do an album, but I can't. You can't do that. I can't finish this album and then just go, oh well, that's it now. I've done my bit, because it's like.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm extending it to, like I say, this bullying record I've just done. And to be honest with you, it's all incorporated. If somebody has mentally ill, somebody's mentally ill, that it can all be homelessness connected to trafficking. Mentally ill can be connected to trafficking. All people, I really believe, children and old people, like people like myself now. I keep calling old people. I forget that I'm old myself now. But they should be looked after. They shouldn't have to. They shouldn't have to go through this struggle of being homeless in America, with such a powerful country. It should be looked after. You shouldn't have to worry. You shouldn't have to worry about your children or your parents or your grandparents if they get ill. But I really believe so much money can be made through the power of music, and most musicians, they want to do something, because they're not bothered about getting any established star. They don't really care about being. They're already fit, so they don't necessarily need another #1 record. So if they can use their music.
How did you get rights to use all the songs that you're using from Stinging Cars?
Any song that's been recorded and sold or played on the radio, you can get a license to release as to release as a record, not audio, but just a record. So, and right from day one, Sting's management company have been informed. They've got copies of everything. So they can hear it all. So it's all good. And then you just go to the Harry Fox agency and pay for a license. But then again, you've got all the clearances from the artists, the management companies, the record, things like that. So it's quite a big tax for it. But,
yes. So go ahead.
It's not hard. It's not hard work doing something that you love doing anyway, because I would be doing it anyway. So why not put it into something that's useful, and hopefully eventually, once we build this company up, we can actually fund. I want to be able to fund a lot of these operations, not just make records. And I want to be able to fund some of these operations with the sales of it all, and run a proper business. Doing records, all sorts of different things.
Absolutely, and I know you will. So now you have the ability. You have some kind of a wrapped, like on your website. You have the ability for people to join you, right, in like a ongoing donation.
Yeah, there is. I think that this. Obviously the web, but Tyler Prescott will work very closely with me now. They deal with all that, because I'm in the studio all the time. I don't really know a great deal of what's going on with the website. I've not even looked at the website for a while. We're just starting to get the wheels turning again now. So I'm busy, but there's people in the background building things up. So yeah, I think it's quite interactive in the website.
Yes, yes. In fact, okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I am going to bring up, again, I'm going to go to, let's see, I want to be able to show a few images here real quickly. Okay, so here is, I mean,
that's Steven Tyler and Slash.
Yes.
Me and Slash did an interview on Billboard, and at the time, that's when Steven was contemplating coming in, and he got really busy. And there's a couple of people not on there now, but yeah, that's right. Yeah, oh, glad.
And there, go ahead.
More than I have, Tamara.
And then Malibu recognized you again. Congratulations. Rock Against Trafficking 2020.
And also, we've just been accepted by Pepperdine charity organisation to be in the top 100. So we're doing something right, and the main thing is to build this organisation up so that we can fund a lot of stuff ourselves. So
how can people support you now to help you to get
all
the
we do
out there?
Is just like if there's donations or if somebody requests on the website for the single Roxanne, we can do that in the Journey record. But we are going to be doing a really, really big promotional push, soon, so that it'll give people opportunity to get involved. And we're getting a plan together where people can get really involved with, the artists, with a very interactive thing that I'd like to have, so that we can deal with things properly.
How fun is that? I know the opportunity right now for anybody that really starts putting their, thinking outside of the box, that there's a lot of ways that we can do things that we couldn't do before because of the fact that we have something called a pandemic going on, right?
I never would have guessed, would you? You wouldn't think so in Malibu today with all the people. The people, it's just absolutely rampacked.
Oh yeah, well, you're in California and it's so hot.
Maybe they think, yeah, actually, so it is so hot, so it most probably won't be able to survive, thankfully.
Yeah, and to be anywhere close to the ocean right now, I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to be there in that beautiful area. What would you like to leave right now as we start to close this up for today? What is the thought that you would like to leave everybody with, like a nugget? What is it that you'd like to say?
Well, the main thing I think you've got to be aware of this situation with this traffic and what people do and the lengths they go to. I think you've just got to be watch what's going on around you. I mean, I don't think even with your kids, when you go into a shopping mall, you should, kids are disappearing from shopping malls. They're getting taken in broad daylight. I think you just got to be aware. This is a really serious, thing. What's going on now, and as we've seen, there's a lot of disregard for human life, be children, men, women. So I think you've just got to be really aware of your surroundings. Don't let your children go wandering off. They're going to keep an eye on them, unfortunately, but that's just how it is. They don't save it for early hours of the morning. They'll do it in broad. It could happen in broad daylight.
Right. Keep our eyes open. Very true, Lori. Very true.
And then when the records come up, buy the record, which is all going to. If everybody keeps an eye on Rock Against Trafficking, we're going to be coming out with a really big promotional push very soon. Well,
when you do, we'll have to have you back and have a little party and say, okay, yes, it's time now, go buy and support. So as we close, I am so thrilled that we were able to, and it's crazy that it was 2 years ago in September.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it, Tamara. I can't believe where 2 years have just gone at all.
I know. And yet, so many amazing things are happening. And to see how the evolution is taking place, that not only do you have the English version, however, you're going to have the Latin version that will be then following up. And I can't wait to hear those duos. I mean, duets and everything. That will be so absolutely incredible. And you are the man to make it happen. Absolutely the man to make it happen. And yes, one of our SEALs, Ruben, who everybody is going to be meeting next Wednesday, situational awareness. Yes, thank you so very much. And thank you for you're welcome, Sherry. Thank you for being here. And Brooke wants to say thank you, Gary, for all you are doing. And I want to say that too, because you are truly a service hero.
Well, that's very kind. I mean, obviously, it's not just me on my own. It's like there's a lot of people.
Yes.
The one that stays up all night in the studio. I'm 20, really. I'm 21, really. I don't.
There you go. Hey, you know it. That means there's a few more days. Wink, wink. To have fun.
29th of February, so I'm a leap year baby, so I'm only about 15 years old, really.
Oh, I know a few of those. So as we close today, September the 6th, 2020, the Service Hero Show, 365 Days of Awesome, Celebrate Success through Service. Gary Miller, we have made the case. You truly are a service hero. You have been, and you continue to be serving so many people, and the way that you go about it. And I love it. Ring a few of your friends up. Yes, a few of your friends, like some of my favorite musicians and singers and songwriters, and so many people that need to hear this message. Not an easy message, yet a vitally, incredibly important message, a timely message, and one as simple as it may sound. Keep an eye on your kids and on yourself and on your family, and situational awareness. You must do that these days, guys. And in doing so, we can also help to change things and how things are done, and raise the frequency through healing, through music. Music absolutely can make a difference, and you are making a difference, Gary Miller. Thank you. All right, everyone, that's our show today. We will be back again tomorrow. Be here. See you then. Bye, everyone.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye, Gary.